Hello and welcome to our final part for the System of Equations study guide. Now, like I said in all the other videos, make sure you've done the study guide first before you watch the videos. It will be much more helpful to you and you'll do much better on the test if you've tried it yourself. Use this as a way to just kind of check your answers and make sure, clear up anything that you're not getting. Alright, so ready for part 4? Here we Okay, so we start with number 6. Michael ordering his girlfriend his bouquet of flowers. Okay, so we got two important things. Roses are $5. Carnations are $2. He wants at least, that's a good keyword, 3 flowers, but he has to stay within his budget, so he's not spend more than 18. So we have to write a system of inequalities, graph it, and then come up with combinations. Okay. So if I were doing this, I would start with the x and y intercepts and think of the extreme examples, like the example we went over in class with the bandages and the crutches. So the easiest place to start here is on the y intercept, because let's see, what does it say? Carnations cost $2 each, and carnations on the Y, and he's not. $18 is like his max amount of spending. So, what I would do is essentially you're solving an equation where it says 2y equals 18. Solve for y is equal to 9. That's our y-intercept. That's of course when x equals 0. So I'm going to go over here. Up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and put a point somewhere around there. And roses is a little trickier because it would be, they're $5, so it would be 5x equals 18, and if you divide both sides by 5, you get 3 2/3. So what I'm going to do is go over 3 and then go over like part way into the next block just to give myself a point somewhere around there. And since we have our x-intercept and our y-intercept, we can connect. Well, let's connect better than that. Connect to make a line. And of course, if this line represents everything that equals $18. But we know that he's not allowed to spend more than 18, so he could spend less than 18. So this is going to be an inequality where we're going to end up shading down. But there's one other little thing in here that kind of limits us. It's a constraint. It's a good vocabulary word to know. That he would like to at least have 3 flowers. So if he gets 3 carnations, we'd have a point here on the y-axis for 3. If he gets 3 roses, we'd have a point here. And draw a line connecting these, because all the points that are in this region right here, these wouldn't work anyways, because you imagine 1 rose, 1 carnation. No, that's not enough. That's not going to work. So what we do is we're going to shade in between here, where this shows the amount of money that's under $18, but also more than the 3 flowers. Okay, so hopefully your shading looks a little bit nicer than mine. Now to figure out this R and C, what I'm going to do is, what these are, I need to find points within this shading. So let's just, and your answers could be different from mine, I'm just finding a single point. I'm going to go over 1 rose and up 3 carnations. Will that work? Is it in the shading? I think so. Alright, next point, let's say we go over 2 roses and up 2 carnations. Is that in the shading? I think so. So I'll just go 2 and 2. Of course, all of those will fit in his budget. Both of those points will fit in his budget, and they're more than 3 flowers. So if I need to write now inequalities, a lot of ways to do it. We can find the slope and y-intercept But I'm going to write this in standard form because I think that one makes more sense in this case. We know that he's not allowed to spend more than 18. We also know that roses cost 5. So 5 times the number of roses plus 2 times the number of carnations. Let's see. And this must be less than or equal to 18. Let's see if I can fix that up, just make that a little bit easier to read. But yeah, there should be an 18 here, and that is a C. Yeah, not the greatest writing. Again, writing on a pad. And it says inequalities, so there's one other restraint here, and it tells you in the problem that the number of roses plus the number of carnations has to be greater than or equal to 3, because he wants at least 3 flowers. So it's this system that makes these two inequalities in the shaded region. Alright, so make sure you understand what each thing in this comes from, how to generate the points, how do you get the equations, or the inequalities, sorry, and then how the shading works. Alright? Next. Okay, so before we get into this one, let's do our little symbol here. So if you put this on your page, I'll know you did this. This time, why don't we do just a little zigzag like this. Okay, that goes on page 4. Now for number 7, we have a straightforward one for this. It's just a problem, solve the system. Okay, you can solve it however you like. But I see that y equals and a bunch of stuff. That tells me I'm going to solve with substitution. So I'm going to rewrite the second equation, except I'm not going to write y. Instead, I write what y equals, and I use parentheses for that. Okay, when I do that, I have parentheses, so I'm going to and I'm going to distribute negative 3 times 6 is negative 18x. Negative 3 times 11 is positive 33. That equals negative 7. And we have negative 2x. Combine my like terms, I have negative 20x plus 33 equals negative 7. I want to get this to the other side. So I get negative 20x equals negative 40. And if I divide both sides by negative 20, I get x equals 2. So am I done? Not quite. So what I'm going to do is substitute this into whichever equation looks easiest to you. I'm going to use that one. My y equals 6 times, I'm not going to write x, I'm going to write instead what x equals, minus 11. 6 times 2 is 12 minus 11. I get y equals 12 minus 11 is 1. So my solution is the ordered pair 2, 1. Alright, if you're not sure, you can plug it in. We already know 6 times 2 is 12 minus 11 is 1. That works in the first equation, so check. Negative 2 times 2 is negative 4. Negative 3 times 1 is negative 3. Negative 4 and negative 3 is negative 7, so that's another check. Again, with these kinds of problems, you should be able to plug them into both equations and check to see if you are correct. So that way you know 100% that you got your problem right. Okay? Do it. That's my advice. Don't be lazy. Do it. Alright. And our last problem, number 8, solve the system. Alright, another straightforward, no word problems. Great. I am already seeing that because we have x's lined up, they're both in standard form. We have the opposite of y, and we have plus y here, so these are going to add to 0, so I am using elimination. If I add down, remember you have to add down or subtract or do something to multiply, but you got to do something with them, so x, and we'll treat that like a 1x. X plus 2x is 3x. The opposite of y and plus y is equal to 0, so that's gone. That's a wah. And 11 plus 19 is 30. Oh, this is nice. So now if I divide by 3, I get x is 10. I already have x. Awesome. So you can plug it into either equation, whatever you think looks easier. I'm going to plug it into the first one, and I have 10 minus y is equal to 11. Oh my goodness, this is so weird. What number can you subtract from 10 to get a bigger number? let's follow our algebra. It'll make sense in a second. So I have a minus sign in front of that y. 10 minus 11 is 1. So does y equal 1? This is where you say, no, Mr. Barnett, because we have to divide by negative 1. And we get y equals negative 1. Now that makes sense because when you plug into this equation, 10 minus negative 1 is like 10 plus 1, and you get 11, so that's a check. Also plugging in 10 here, 2 times 10 is 20, plus negative 1 does equal 19, so that's a double check. We know we are right. There's your answer. Yay! Okay, so before we leave, we do have a shout out here. Shout out that's kind of a joke, so are we ready here? The joke is, what's brown and sticky? Amelia, who put this shout out in here in my third period, said to put a dramatic pause. So the answer to what's brown and sticky? A stick. What were you thinking of? Gross. Okay. Yes, a stick is brown and sticky. Get it? Get it? Anyways, alright, so this is the last part of the video. Hopefully you've watched all 4 videos. You're ready for the test on Friday. Don't forget, everyone out there, but especially my students, you are important, you are cared for, and you're listened to. I hope you do awesome on the test, and I hope you have a good day or night, depending on when you are listening to this. Bye, guys.